how are the previous experiences in Europe about you use the word resisting the GMO, or how it's possible that there are over 500 regions which are GMO-free zones?
Yes, this is a very important question you're asking. There are thousands, well, it's hundreds anyway, of GMO-free zones throughout Europe. There are some countries are almost entirely GMO-free, and Poland's actually one of these. The reason I think this has happened is because there's enormous resistance from citizens in Europe to GMO. Basically 80%, if you take an average right across Europe, 80% of people are against GMO. Now, if you translate that into democratic power, we shouldn't have any GMO in any of these countries. But we don't live in a democracy. We live in something else, an autocracy, an oligarchy. Perhaps we live in a situation which is closer to a society where ultimate power is held by very few hands, and therefore any form of democracy is manipulated at the highest levels. Therefore, we're not getting the results that we should be, with 80% of citizens being against. But we are getting some very pragmatic and symbolic declarations coming from provinces, coming from states, coming from countries, that they want to be free of genetically modified organisms. And this is what this movement for GMO-free zones is really about. And this large number of provinces that are expressing this prove that it's workable. We can do it. We can have a GMO-free world eventually.
Okay, and there is one country, I guess Austria is a country which is completely GMO-free. And how it happened? Because as I understood well, there are some big pressure from European Union mechanisms that like Poland is under this now. So how it happened that Austria, for example, is completely GMO-free?
Well, it's very interesting because every country has a slightly different way of dealing with this particular issue. Austria has always used the law. It has a supportive government in terms of being anti-GMO, which is pretty unusual. Most governments buy the World Trade Organization line. They buy the line of the GATT, General Agreements on Tariffs and Trade, which means that it's a free market. You shouldn't be able to say no to something which isn't obviously killing people. But in Austria, they took a different position. They said the most important feature in our country is our biodiversity, is our unique biodiversity in the mountain regions particularly, but also in the valleys. They also are very strong on organic food in Austria. They have the highest percentage of organic food in any country in Europe. So if you combine these two facets, you can see that there's a built-in resistance here. And really, they have been very clever, I think, at using the legal tools. The legal tool does give one the opportunity to say no, but then one has to explain exactly why one has said no. And if one can prove to the European Court of Justice, for example, but initially to the European Commission, that this could be a predominant threat to the biodiversity of a countryside and to the health of individuals, or one or the other, then there is a way of blocking it.
So in the end, what could you advise for regular, normal Polish citizen who doesn't accept these things like forcing the GMO and somehow killing this natural food market?
Yes.
The few simple advices what you could give for everyone who is feeling like this.
Well, really, the most important thing of all is that you join a group, an organization that's fighting to stop this. I would recommend the Coalition for a GMO-Free Poland, because we are basically joining more and more organizations together to stand up and fight. And you know, if you fight as a unified group of people, if you take a cooperative approach with others and you all link your arms together, there's no way that they can finally stop you. The great power with people is that they work together. And we have the Coalition for a GMO-Free Poland. I think at the end of this film, you will have this information. And the more people that join this, the better chance we have of saving this jewel of Poland, which is one of the richest countries in biodiversity, the highest level of bird life of anywhere in Europe, the most herbs, wild herbs, medicinal herbs, and rural way of life, which has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's almost unique in Europe. It must be saved, not just for the future of Poland, but for the future of the biodiversity of seed and health within Europe as a whole. So it is a crucial issue, and I do ask everybody, come on our side and join us. We will win if you do this.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.